Hello everyone, Dr. Sock here. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm coming to you this morning to give you a crypto update on some of the cryptos that I like to follow. Certainly not an exhaustive list, but this is just meant to be a short video, and I'll make other videos to surround this with. So recently we've had Bitcoin break the $38,000 mark, so breaking that resistance always a good thing. Ethereum, I believe that 2,800 was about the resistance for that. Dogecoin made it up to like 42 cents, so that was pretty cool to see. Certainly not the highest it's ever been, but there's, we'll look at the charts, we'll see what it has to say. Cardano, I think, is at a really interesting time, has a really interesting looking chart. So I'm going to take a look through some of those charts, some of the other news that we have surrounding our cryptocurrencies, and that'll make up this video. Yesterday, when I went live for anybody who was on YouTube who wanted to watch, and that was on my end. It felt like a disaster. I cannot go back and watch that video. I won't let myself do it. I think it would hurt my pride too much because I didn't have my screen share set up. I wasn't using this camera. I wasn't using this microphone, so the audio's off, the video's off. Not that video production is something that, I mean, it's sorely needed, something that I'm really working to improve as time goes on, and this should be a really exciting couple of weeks here as I ramp that up, and we should see a lot of changes in the way the videos are produced between now and I'd say mid-July would be a decent time frame for that. Anyway, I digress. I want to move on from there. Let's get right on to the cryptocurrency charts and the news. Here comes the rock music, so you might want to, for some of you, might want to turn down that volume. And for those of you who enjoy it, crank it up to 11. Why not? Let's get ready to rock. Alright, welcome back. For those of you who are interested, down in the description is a link to my Patreon. If you go over there, you'll see my growth portfolio, my dividend portfolio. I put out a weekly newsletter, a weekly watch list of stocks. I also have a private Discord over there where we talk throughout the trading day. We got a bunch of different channels to talk in. There's a general channel. There's channels for crypto that are over there, growth stocks, value stocks, EV stocks, also clean energy stocks would be another one that is over there. I also put out alerts for whenever I do my buys and sells, and I also made an alert channel for the patrons who are in that Discord who would also like to put those announcements out there in order to let the other patrons know what they're interested in as well. I better move on from there. That link for Patreon is down in the description. Go ahead and check it out. Help support the channel. I appreciate it. Also down in the description, you'll find a link to WEBULL by going over there and signing up and depositing $100 to get access to that trading platform and its services. You'll get 2 free stocks valued up to a total of $1,850. I get 2 free stocks as well for the referral, so thank you very much. Just another way that you can support the channel in a way that purely benefits you and also benefits me at no additional cost to you, so that's absolutely awesome. Last thing, subscribe, hit the like button to help out that algorithm, help me get these up ranked, please. And I really appreciate any support that you can show. Hit the notification bell. You can see anytime that I present on YouTube, either if it's a pre-recorded video like this one or live videos like I'm starting right. I started yesterday, as a matter of fact. I'll put up another one today. Should be a little bit cleaner than the one yesterday. I really did enjoy the experience overall, even if my my tech wasn't ready for the full world of YouTube to have access to. All right, let's get on to the cryptos. All right, so what we're looking at now is the charts on CoinMarketCap, and I wanted to start off with Bitcoin just to see its price action for pretty much all of 2021. And you can see that we did return back to these resistance levels. That's not really something that's huge for us. We dipped right here in that big sell-off just below 30,000, and we've recovered somewhat since then, but it's been a little bit more of a consolidation and forming into this little wedge pattern that we have here. As a matter of fact, it might even look a little bit like a bearish pennant, and I really think, if we see this breakout, if we break out to the downside, it's because a negative catalyst came along and added downward pressure. I don't think that's the death of Bitcoin. I honestly think it's another buying opportunity, and what gives me the confidence in that is the whales that we see, the corporations, the fact that business is moving in the direction of cryptos, and Bitcoin being number one by market cap and also highly popular in that it really has, we'll say, a significant brand significance to it, that it's kind of the face of the cryptocurrency world. So Bitcoin I think has a lot of staying power. I think that some of this that we saw here ended up being just a little bit of bloat, a little bit too early, but I think that we're going to see as the ETFs come through, and I have a little bit of news on that for you. I think that we're going to come back to some strength. So if this does break to the downside, it could break pretty heavy if we get negative catalyst. If we get a positive catalyst, honestly, I could see this happening as a reversal. You can see right now it looks like we're trading at about 39,000. It's dipping right around 39,000. So that's a good sign. It broke that 38,000 resistance. Let me grab a horizontal line quickly. There we go. So we'll bring it down this way to, we'll say about there. Breaking that $40,000 mark is going to be important for us as far as a round number resistance goes, and these other peaks that we see maybe obeying that round number resistance. I think that's going to be important for Bitcoin. If we go to this other peak that's over here, I think that we're also going to get stuck. So right around 42,000, that's also a number that we've seen before. As a matter of fact, after this sell-off, we did return to about that $42,000 price. We broke it for a little bit, but then it dropped right back down. So honestly, if this consolidated for a while, it'd be awesome. If we get a big more of a sell-off, it's because we had some bad news come out, but I think it would be temporary bad news. It'd be temporary volatility. So if you're a long-term investor in Bitcoin, I think that you have another buying opportunity, more of a chance to dollar cost average, and then see those gains move on. Right now we have a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. If you've been watching different videos on cryptos, well, then you're familiar with all of that. And right now, Bitcoin working on a proof of mining where coins have to be mined in order to satisfy those transactions or validate the transactions. That's something that's very energy intensive, and the focus on using renewable energies in order to accomplish that is something that's going to be huge going forward for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still operating sort of as a store of value. I did see an article headline that people have been comparing it to gold, for years, that this would be sort of an equivalent to that, an alternative to that. And I just saw one, I think it was, don't quote me on this one, I think it was Goldman Sachs, that it's more like digital copper than it is digital gold. And I didn't read the article because there were other things that called my attention. However, having a 21 million coin cap on Bitcoin is something that, having that limitation or that cap makes it something that has scarcity to it and allows it to have that store of value without endless inflation. All right, I better move on. So here's Ethereum. And Ethereum, we're bumping up against resistance again here. Let me grab another horizontal line. There we go. This is nice. So like somewhere between 2,800, 2,900, we keep bumping up against resistance. The nice thing is that we do see these lows moving upward, and this one I think has a slightly better look to it than what we had with Bitcoin, that we have the bottom squeezing up and that we're still holding strong across the top. So the bears are still holding their ground, the bulls are still pushing it up. We still have this long flagpole, if you want, here. I don't think that it has the same structure to it when we look at this, that we're seeing the same patterns. As a matter of fact, if we take this idea here that this is a way overbought time for Ethereum, that it was just a little bit too much too soon for its price. Let me get rid of that horizontal line and let me bring out some rays. If we go across these tops and one more ray and go across these bottoms, there we go. It's not perfect, but it's close. You can see that we have this nice little diagonal up channel, if you will, that we're sort of trading on. I want to fix that a little bit. It's a little bit too high. Bring that one up. There we go. We can actually run them fairly parallel, and we can see the way that it's trading. So they're way too much, way too fast. And then down here, you can see that we sold off quite a bit. And if we looked at the Bollinger Bands, I think that we would see that we would be outside of the 2 standard deviations to the high side of the mean, and then outside of the 2 standard deviations to the low of the mean here. And I think now we're sort of settling, at least on a daily chart, somewhere right in the middle of this one. So Ethereum is actually one of my favorites, and I think when they switch to proof of stake, I think that there is just there's so many dApps that are already integrated with Ethereum, and then we also have side chains like Polygon, also one of my favorites, that help optimize it from where it's at right now and help keep those gas costs down, those ETH costs for the transaction validation. Those are things that I think are very positive for it, and something competing to that would be Cardano, and I think that Cardano, let's take a look at their chart next. I had Dogecoin next, but let's switch over to Cardano. So when we look at Cardano, this chart, this chart starts to get really interesting because we actually have a bit more of a pennant formation happening here, where we have this flagpole taking place right about here, and then we also have right around across the top. There we go. And then somewhat across the bottoms. We might actually be getting into a little bit more of a breakout type territory. Let me move this bottom over a little bit. There we go. We could break up to the high side on Cardano at any given moment. And what we're looking at here is actually not Cardano versus the USD. This is against BTC. This is against Bitcoin. And while Bitcoin's selling off and or it's kind of consolidating, if you will, kind of forming a nice little wedge, this one has an alternative look to it. And Cardano already works on proof of stake, so it's something that already uses significantly less power, and it has scalability to it, and it's built to be a coin that has a lot of staying power to it, and it's one that's actually built in a very optimized way. It was built with scalability in mind. Here we go. And so this is just another look at Cardano, and when you look at it this way against USDT, which is that tetherist, so we're working with against a United States denomination stablecoin here, so something that would be thought of as equivalent to the dollar. This one starts to look a little bit more like Ethereum when we look at it this way, and you can see that we have that slow, steady climb and what I would consider healthy growth for Cardano. So Cardano is also one that I'm bullish on. I have some of it in my crypto portfolio, and I think that it's also worth adding to yours. But that's up to you guys. That's always up for you to decide. None of this is financial advice. Right now we're bumping against resistance. You can see what this horizontal line is right here, around $1.80, $1.85. That has been significant resistance for us, and we're starting to peak up above that. So today could be a very good day for Cardano. Finally, Dogecoin. We look at Doge. Doge has had a wonderful run. Check out that pennant formation, and then it just blast off. And that ran up to, I believe, Saturday Night Live when Elon Musk did his performance, and we've had kind of a bit of a sell-off since those times, and recently we've rallied again. However, something that you want to pay attention to is this line of resistance that we have right here at about 45 cents. If we make it up over that 45 cents, we're in really good shape. We actually want to see this continue higher, and if it doesn't continue higher, it can go sideways for a little while. That would help us out. Or if it's going to drop lower, we don't want to see it come back down to this level like it was at before. We don't want to see it below 30 cents. So we want to either see it go above 45 so it can break resistance, or we want it to stay above 30. Ideally, I like to think about this, if we look over here for this most recent run that it's done, a 50% retracement from that low, so somewhere around like the 36 or 37 cents, maybe even 38 cents, I guess would be, with 37.5, I'll cut it in the middle. There we go. This would be fine for a retracement to come back down and touch this level before going back up again. And if we don't sink that low, that would also, if we sink less than that before going back up again, give it some time to rest after these green days that it's had. Today, Dogecoin does go live on Coinbase, and so that was a big catalyst for this most recent run-up that we have here. We just want to see that strength continue. Check out the volume that we had. So here, this is very igniting volume, and here we have a little bit less volume, so less conviction in these prices that we see with Doge, and then we see it sell off from there, and these most recent highs that we have even less conviction yet, taking us up to that point. So this could fall back down in the short term. There are people who are very bullish on Dogecoin. I think that Dogecoin is a momentum play, and I think that it has a really good place in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. To me, Dogecoin it's the social movement coin, and it's the social progress coin. So when we talk about ESG type plays, that social part of it, I think, is huge where it comes to donations and help, and it's a very, we'll call it a coin for humanity, if you will. I think that being able to do those donations and pay for like hospital bills for a family in need or something like that. I think that Dogecoin has that sort of essence surrounding it, that it has kind of an emotion tied to it that other ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano just lack. So Dogecoin, I'm bullish on it, but for more of a sentimental reasons. I just think that it has an appeal to it that's going to keep the prices either stable or moving upward for at least the near future, as long as it's still seen in that light. So just a few other updates. The SEC postponed the decision on Wisdom Tree. So they say to July the 14th. And then we also see they mentioned about Van Eck right here, his ETF for Bitcoin postponed until June 17th. So the SEC is sort of tossing this idea around. They're like, we don't know. It's pretty volatile. We don't know that we want it on the markets yet. And if you look, they give those time frames here, 45 days to make a decision about approving it. And it says that a right to extend it up to 240 days, so up to 8 months. That means that it could take up till November before we get any sort of decision going on these ETFs. And for those of us who really do enjoy the crypto space, that's not a long wait. I think when we start to see those ETFs, the day that that first ETF gets approved on U.S. markets through the SEC, I think that's going to be a big catalyst for all things crypto. So Bitcoin is going to go through the roof. That opens the gateway for things like Ethereum as well, and Cardano, and all the other coins that we have that would go right along with it. I think that we're going to see a lot of buying into that it starts to really validate a lot more of the legitimacy that we have with the cryptocurrencies. So let me summarize. Bitcoin, I think that its price right now sits somewhere where a negative catalyst could drop it significantly, and I think that a positive catalyst could make it go up significantly. It's going to push us up over that resistance, put us well back into the $40,000 range per Bitcoin. Ethereum, I think, is going to continue its steady climb that it has, and that could change when we start to see Ethereum switch over to proof of stake, which is supposed to be, it's been accelerated, it's supposed to happen this fall, where it cuts the energy costs by almost entirely, by like 99.95% or something like that, going from proof of work, which is really super energy intensive and sort of a dirty currency in that regard, to something that would be far less work, and also much better in terms of the transactions per second. The throughput for it is just going to be revolutionized from where it's at now. Really do love Ethereum. Cardano, also a good looking chart. Its resistance against Bitcoin, the way it's trading against it, I think that we could see a breakout between the two of those as we look at it, and it sort of trades in the same pattern that Ethereum has been trading, in that we see that sort of channel upwards going for Cardano. Dogecoin, it's got a place in my heart. I think it's got a place in a lot of people's hearts. And what can we call it? The coin of the people. I think that that's the place that Doge has. And we want to watch in the near term for the decisions on those ETFs. I really think a lot of the pressures that are there, if the ETFs get shut down, the proposals that have been out there that the SEC is reviewing, I think that they will revise and they will resubmit, even if it does go beyond November before that happens. But when that does happen, we get just supercharging, not only through buying, but then we also get that elation, that we get that validation that cryptocurrencies are more and more of a legitimate currency all the time, and an alternative to the different fiat currencies that we currently have around the world. And DeFi, I mean, it's just a leg up for DeFi in general, in my opinion. All right, so that's what I have for you today. If you guys want to check out my Patreon, that link is down in the description. Also, the link for WEBULL. Sign up, deposit your $100, and get your 2 free stocks. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this, and thank you for any support that you show. If you could please help me out by hitting the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Remember, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research and due diligence. Contact a financial advisor before making any financial decisions. I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go get that money.